Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be butthurt and offended. Well, I've got an email here from a pissed off woman who watched a video newsletter of mine a while back called Why She Doesn't Love You. And she wrote in a nice, nasty fucking email to let me know what complete and utter bullshit she thought it was. And so I'm going to respond to her email because she wrote a bunch of things. And it's obvious from the email that she's not familiar with my work. She's just having an emotional reaction to things that I'm saying based upon what she's been taught, what she's been told as far as the way the world works, and what she's been emotionally conditioned to expect. And the more successful you become in life, the more you stand out from the herd, if you will, because most people have a herd mentality, you're going to encounter people like this. And so after I go through that email, I've got a bunch of success stories that I'm going to share with you. And one of them from a guy, met a girl, and I had this woman he's known for a long time. He's always thought was attractive. They've been friends, but she's never wanted to date him. And so he starts flirting and hitting on one of her hot girlfriends, who's also just as hot as she is. And it's amazing what an effect it has on her. So then he's got two beautiful women competing for his attention. So it's a great success story, a great way. And then I got 3 or 4 really short ones that I'm going to share with you. So I have a quote that I wrote, and I'm going to go through this woman's email and see why she's so pissed off. So the quote that I wrote says, "Loving something or someone makes you willing to suffer for it or them for extended periods of time. You should let other people sing your praises. Let your life's work speak for itself, and your actions speak louder than your words. The world is full of weak people who are too scared and too fearful to go for their dreams. When they see other people succeeding or potentially succeeding more than they are, they try to sabotage their success to keep the other person at their level so they don't feel uncomfortable or feel so bad about the fact that they are too weak to attempt reaching their full potential themselves. No one will ever do or say anything to you that is not a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. People project onto others what they don't like about themselves. Don't take it personally when you encounter a truly miserable human being. It's not about you. It's really about what's on the inside of them. People attack what they fear, don't understand, or envy." So let's go through this delightful email experience together, shall we? She says, "Corey, I just wanted to say your video, Why She Doesn't Love You, was very offensive to me and several of my friends I shared it with." Well, you know what? I really don't give a fuck if you're offended. The bottom line is, for whatever reason, you've picked up somebody else's belief system or a way of thinking, because you've been emotionally conditioned to think a certain way, you go through life looking for reasons to be offended or pissed off. And so when you encounter people such as me who aren't following the herd, who march the beat of their own drum, and it does not match with what you've been taught or conditioned to believe or expect, you're going to attack it like a fucking robot that doesn't know any better, because you're not really thinking for yourself. You're only reacting based on what you've been taught or told to. She continues on, "It was complete and utter bullshit." Well, when somebody says that, remember, no one will ever do or say anything that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. So, quite frankly, your response based upon that truth is that your response is bullshit. And you know it's bullshit deep down, but what's really going on is it's a cry for help. When people attack you, no matter who you are, no matter what you do in life, the more successful you become at it, people are going to attack you. Because what's really going on is they don't believe in themselves. And when they encounter somebody who has a lot of self-confidence and a lot of inner strength that they feel they lack, they're going to attack it to test and see how congruent they really are. And you may not have seen very many videos of mine in the past, but at the end of the day, what I say all the time in my videos is that even if you think I'm a complete jackass, or in this case, that everything I teach is complete and utter bullshit, if you apply the things I teach, you will see that they work for you. And the bottom line is, you are not familiar with my work, you haven't read my book, So you really can't even speak upon it. You're just having an emotional reaction. It's like what Stephen Covey said. Most people go through life, most people listen not to understand, they listen to reply. And that's what's really going on here. You were looking for some reason to get pissed off or upset because you obviously have a lot of wounds when it comes to your interpersonal relationships, your relationship with yourself, and relationships with members of the opposite sex. Or who knows, maybe you're a woman, maybe you're another woman, I don't know. But the bottom line is you obviously got wounds, and that's why you react. And if you were happy and healthy and in love and loved, and you felt like everything was going great in your life, and you had plenty of abundance, and you had ease, joy, peace, and delight in your life, you wouldn't be reacting this way. But the bottom line is most people, when they come to me, something's not working in their life, and they're looking to turn it around. And that's the reality. And obviously, something's not going well in your life. And I can tell just by the fact that you're already saying that my work is bullshit when I know that it works, because it worked in my life, and it works in the lives of thousands and thousands of men and women all over the world. She says, women want someone who can handle his half of the relationship. I totally agree with that. And you are right, yes. You want to know the reason she didn't love him, obviously referring to the video. It was because he was half-assing the relationship by following your book's guidelines. Well, if he'd have been following what my book teaches, he would have been succeeding, but obviously he wasn't, because most of the videos that I do, I'm pointing out where somebody is fucking up or where their strategy is flawed in a more superior way to modify their approach. Like, you should be paying attention, that you shouldn't be going through life looking for reasons to get offended, because then you become a prisoner. You become a prisoner to your own beliefs. You get stuck inside the box, so to speak, and so you never can extend beyond your comfort zone, and you're never going to live a life that you're truly capable of living. If he only puts out 30 to 40%, I guarantee she won't fall for him. Well, I never say that a guy should not give full effort. It's about giving full effort, but it's about taking measured steps, because when you understand, instead of having an emotional reaction like you have, when you understand why women do what they do and why men do what they do, then it's like if you read my book, it would really help you, because you'd understand what creates attraction, why you're attracted to certain people, and why certain people turn you off. And that way you can use it as a tool to make sure that you got a guy who's doing the right things. Because the reality is, and like I talk about in my book, is women will do most of the calling, texting, pursuing if you handle it properly, just because of the fact that feminine energy is all about bonding, connecting, opening up to receive love. And when a guy does the right things initially, she feels safe and comfortable enough with him to do most of the calling, texting, and pursuing. And then he leads the relationship, and he mates, dates, and he's always romancing and courting his girlfriend or his wife properly. When guys apply the things I teach, they have great success. Just like the success story that I'm going to share after I finish going through your email, the turd in the punchbowl, so to speak. Again, he's half-assing at the relationship. Women really do like it when a guy obsesses over them. Women like it when a guy makes his woman feel more special than anybody else in his life, and especially any other women if they happen to be just kind of casually dating. So it's not that he obsesses over a woman from a weakness. He worships her, he cherishes her, he adores her, but not to the point where he gives up his goals, his dreams, or the things that he wants to do, or he stops being the guy that she was attracted to in the first place. The idea is that two people share their completeness, not to complete each other. It makes them feel wanted and important. I agree. You're right. And guys should definitely do that. And that's what I teach in my book. But you don't know that because you haven't read it yet. Because you're just having an emotional reaction to what you read or a couple things you heard in a video. It proves to them that the man truly is dedicated. I agree with that. You say you are a life and peak performance coach. She puts in quotes to be an insult. But if people are really following your guidelines, their lives are not going to be heading for the peak. Well, I've done numerous articles over the year, like one I did, Why I Don't Care What You Think. You should definitely check out that one as well. A guy who was ultra religious, and he was trying to whack me over the head with his fucking Bible and why I should be a certain way, and that was a great one. So Google that one. I could go on for hours with this, but I really don't want to waste any more of my time with you, so have a horrible day. Bye-bye now. Written in discontent. Boy, she sounds like such... I bet she's a lot of fun at parties, huh? Wouldn't it be great? Can you imagine dating somebody like this who's got such a great... I've never talked to this person before ever in my life, and this is the first thing she says to me. What a piece of work. The world is full of people who, unfortunately, are mostly like that. And when you're one of those people like I am that's unplugged from the matrix, if you've been following my work for a while, you see this shit all the time. So let's go through a success story from a guy that's doing really well. He says, hey, Corey, I'm a longtime follower of your stuff, and last night, and so basically, back to the woman whose email wrote, here's some success story. You think it's utter bullshit? You should also check out all of the positive reviews that my book has on Amazon and the iBookstore as well. All the 5-star great reviews. People detail how my book has impacted and changed their lives, just like this guy and several of the other people that I'm going to go through. He says, I'm a longtime follower of your stuff, and last night I couldn't help but reflect back on some of your teachings and laugh. I turned 50 years old this year and feel sort of like a unicorn in a sea of jackasses. Another reason why my book is 3% Man. Only 3% of the guys get this stuff, and he's one of them now. Most guys my age have settled for substandard relationships and jobs they hate. Remember, the divorce rate's over 60%. This made every aspect of their lives pretty half-assed, just like you always say. Now I have been sort of a friend to this beautiful girl from India for the past 6 years. She's 29, and she makes sure she uses the friend word frequently, letting you know where you stand in her life. And so this is, a lot of guys that have always kind of acted like a wuss, and they start acting like a man or an alpha male, how you can create attraction with a friend. This guy does that. He says, I'm good with that. She's fun, beautiful, not dramatic, and in great shape. She's a really fun date. Yesterday was her birthday, and she told me she wanted a watch for her birthday. I live for myself, and I answer to nobody. Remember what Steve McQueen said. Doesn't mean you're a selfish jackass, but it means that you live to make yourself happy first. He says, when I got to the bar, I told her I didn't get her a watch because that's a gift I would give a girlfriend. In other words, he's saying, you'd have to earn that. I might do something like that for a girlfriend, but you demanding a watch for your birthday I don't think so. So I bought her a beer. That's what I give my friends for their birthday. I live for myself and I answer to nobody. This is his truth. This is how he rolls with his buddies. She seemed a little confused, and there were other guys her own age with her. They gave her all kinds of attention, and she was sucking it up, but she got mad when I met her friend, who's also 29 and hot as hell. We were really hitting it off, and she asked me my name. Ding, ding. Another thing right from the book, that when a woman asks for your name, it means they're interested. We exchanged numbers, and I started moving around the bar to throw some darts. Now the Indian chick comes over and starts asking what I'm doing, talking to her at her birthday party. I told her that she was fun and attractive, so we intend to get together later for some bedroom Olympics. The Indian chick said that she was leaving and stormed out of the bar, leaving her phone and cash behind. I told her to be careful driving home and to have a nice night. He says, yep, you guessed it. One of the other guys, a beta male, took her stuff to her, and she was back on the stool next to me within a half hour. Isn't that funny how that shit works? Doing her best to get my attention. This is the girl's known him for 6 fucking years, friend, and as soon as she sees that he's indifferent and totally cool with hooking up with her hot girlfriend, complete attitude change, complete attitude adjustment. Because now he's acting like a man. This is who he always has been on the inside, but he never knew how to let it out in a way that was natural and would create attraction. Platonic friends for 6 years. Then the other one got in the middle and started trying to get in on the conversation. Having 2 beautiful young women fight for attention is pretty good feeling. It's your birthright, my friend. You are the king of your kingdom. Other guys my age are constantly blown away by the beautiful women I date, and I have you to thank for that, because I would have never explored the possibilities of dating women so much younger than I am, and such beautiful women. It's your birthright, dude. I have to agree that everything happens for a reason. I started following you over 2 years ago, and I learned so much about inner self, personal strength, and human emotion that without that training, I would most likely have been crushed when my son Bobby died this past May. If I remember right, I did a previous email. I think he said like 300 people came to his son's funeral. Oh, Dealing with Sudden Death, I believe, was the name of that video newsletter, if it's the same guy. And he used what I had learned in network care and spiritual things that I've studied in my life about feeling things to heal them. We were authentically present. And he was able to, within a week or two, to get over the tremendous suffering that he was feeling after his son suddenly passed away. 300 people at his funeral. They're partying, they're drinking beers, they're celebrating his son's life. It was like, wow. He was really proud of his son. I mean, that's amazing. He said, thanks again, dude. You saved a life, and I have been able to pass your teachings on and save others. You are the man. Now, keep in mind, this guy's hanging out and talking to these two 29-year-old beautiful women. He's 50 years old. So, by the way, it's totally possible, because remember, this was a guy that never thought he could date a beautiful younger woman. Maybe, now that you know all this stuff and you're doing so well with it, maybe you decide to have kids with some of these younger women. What a great, even better dad you would be. I mean, if your son had 300 people at his funeral and they were partying and celebrating his life, it's like, just imagine with this wealth of knowledge how much better a dad you'd be. Just think all the things you could teach if you had sons or even daughters. Just something to think about. Spread your seed far and wide, my fellow alpha male. And so here's another email that I got, and this is from a guy who I've never talked to, I've never coached. He sent me a $100 donation just thanking me for my work, because I give everything away for free. All my best stuff is out there for free. Again, the only way I can do that and make a kick-ass living that I do and make all the money I do and sell the thousands of books I do every month, I let people read it for free. All my best stuff is for free. And the reason I do that is because people apply and they go, wow, this shit really does work. That fucking shaved head motherfucker really does know what he's talking about. And then they go and they buy the book. Sometimes people buy my book 6 months, 2 years, 3 years later after they've been falling for free all along. Maybe they can't afford it at first, and later on down the road, this guy here, boom, $100. And he says, hello, Corey. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and experiences and providing the guidance and support that truly changes lives. May God bless you and your family always. Have a great day, and thanks again. I mean, a guy felt I changed his life, sent me $100. I don't know who he is, never talked to him before, and I think that's awesome. Thank you for the donation, by the way. It was great. There's another thank you note from a viewer that just happened to come in today. Hi, Corey. And he's come in I can do this all day, honey. You know, the one that wrote the nasty email. Hi, Corey. Thank you for your book. It has helped me understand exactly why the fuck I got dumped. Initially, I had hoped to get my ex back, but now I understand what went wrong, and I realize that was one hell of a pipe dream. I'm like most guys. Once I know where I fucked up, I can let go because I know what to do next time. Repetition's the mother of skill. Like the great Aristotle said, excellence is not a singular act, it's a habit. You are what you do repeatedly. There's a great Under Armour commercial that came out recently with Tom Brady, where you see he's just going through these repetitions, with these exercises with a football in his hand. He's like, every day, every day, every day. He keeps saying that, and what happens is the camera pulls away. You notice it goes from being Tom Brady to a couple dozen Tom Bradys, a couple hundred, then a couple, and literally there's thousands of Tom Bradys, and the idea, the metaphor is you are the sum of all of your training, and that's what we're doing here on my YouTube channel, my website, my book. This is training. This is life training, life coaching. These are basic things that all men and women need to know in order to reach your full potential, because they fucking work. He says, so thanks again, and yes, I will continue to read your book 10 to 15 times. Cheers. Well, thanks again for another awesome success story and update. And this one is from a mother. This was posted on my Facebook fan page recently. And I don't know if she's a single mom, but she's a mom to a teenage son. And she says, as a mom to a teen, I am so glad I ran across your YouTube videos. Your advice is awesome, and I have shared your sites with others. Keep up the great work. So she's using it to teach her teenage son how to be a man so he can go out and be a great guy and the kind of guy that every woman would want to date, the kind of guy that she can be proud of. Again, this is a woman, mother to a teenage son, who's using my work to help mentor her son. I think that's fucking great. And this one here, this is from a guy who saved his 20-year marriage. This is another success story. This guy posted this on my Facebook fan page recently. And he says, 1 week after reading your book and watching your videos, my marriage of 20 years has come alive. Just knowing about the tests and passing a few of them has made a huge difference, and a huge difference for her with me. She told me she was going to chase me, which is a big change, while she was away with her best girlfriend in another state. I have a lot of couples, men and women both, that read my book and understand it, and then they're able to hold each other accountable because they know they feel comfortable acting naturally, instinctively this way. And neither one has to worry about the other person not making the effort, because they completely understand how to communicate with one another and what they each need from one another and what creates attraction. When both of them stay in their masculine, it keeps their relationship balanced, keeps the sex life alive, and it's amazing. He says, I brought her home from the airport and got a cute delaying test. I told her that I'm her mountain and that I love her, but that this was too much and moved away. You can guess the rest. Because of you, I finally know about the tests and can pass them with love. Because in essence, he's acted weak on a lot of occasions in his relationship, and he didn't understand how this had a negative effect on his wife's attraction level. And now he notices it and he sees that, and so when he maybe displays weakness, he notices how it repulses his wife. He can completely change his body language, his physiology, how he's showing up, what he's saying, what he's doing, and boom, recreates the attraction, and she comes back to him once he gets back into his masculine and does the right thing. You saved my marriage. I wish I had your book 20 years ago. I wish I knew as much of this stuff as I do now 20 years ago. But hey, that's why I'm so good at what I do. It would have saved a ton of frustration. Every man who wants to be a real loving alpha man should read your book. One PayPal donation is coming your way. Well, thanks for all the great testimonies. And again, to the woman who wrote the email, this happens all day. I can go on all fucking day. I can do this every day. You can bitch and complain and tell me I suck all you want, just like you said in your email. You can go on like that all day. Well, I can go on like this all day long and read testimonials from people whose lives I've touched or have helped tremendously or changed for the better. So again, if you don't believe anything I teach, just apply the things I teach. Read the book 10 to 15 times. Apply the fundamentals, whether you're a man or a woman, because it's life-changing stuff. When you understand why men and women do what they do in a relationship, you'll never be in a situation where you feel like the other person's got the upper hand, or that you don't know what to do, or you don't know how to turn things around if things are going sideways. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.